Greetings, programs, and welcome to Underground Video Network's Behind the Counter. This episode, we're going to be talking about some current comic book Hollywood news and our take on the new Marvel Now. Hi, and welcome to Underground Video Network's Behind the Counter. Mike Boroff here. As always, with me is Richard Catterjohn.
Hello.
Hey, in this episode, we got this been a big couple weeks when it comes to little snippets of Hollywood comic book news.
Yeah, get out there, just blowing people's minds.
Just left and right. Just so far, a lot of it confirms, rumors. We got to hit it. We got to hit the big rumor that's going around right now. Hopefully, maybe by the time you watch this, it'll be confirmed or denied. But the big news that it's going around the internet right now.
J.J. Abrams supposedly is lined up to direct Star Wars.
Yeah, ever since Disney released that they purchased Lucasfilms, not just Star Wars, Lucasfilms.
Right.
Good Lord, the internet's just been a buzz on
what's going to happen.
What's going to happen, especially what's going to happen now that Disney's taking control of it. Like right out of the gate, the first word was Star Wars 7. Boom, going to happen.
Yeah, and that's fact.
That's fact. That is really going to happen. What it's going to be about is still anyone's game. There's speaking of internet rumors, there's talks of Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill having a conversation with George Lucas
before this all went down.
Before it was like he kind of mentioned it to them before the deal was signed and how they felt about it. Harrison Ford's actually come out and said that he would be for it under one stipulation. Han dies.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
He is one. I think this is his swan song because it's little known. I mean, everybody's known this since Return of the Jedi that Harrison Ford wanted to see Han Solo dead.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was kind of like, you know what? I really don't care. But wait a minute, this is my second chance. Okay, I'm in. Han dies. You know,
right?
Which I'm for. You know. Well, I'm not for it, but yeah, I don't want to see Han die. But
hopefully they do stick a little bit with what's already been written.
Exactly. That's just the thing, though. It's going to be really hard for them because there is such a ridiculously huge expanded universe ever since, the end of Return of the Jedi.
Right, and they've gone off with all the twins, Leia and Han's got twins, and all that storyline, and I mean, there's all that stuff already out there. I mean, already you've seen Chewbacca die.
Oh yeah.
I mean, are they going to actually interpret this, or are they just going to kind of do what J.J. Abrams did with Star Trek and go this way? Exactly.
It's completely up in the air. I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of really good source material from after Return of the Jedi that they could draw on, or I would be just as happy with something new. It's completely fine. But one of the big things ever since it was announced was who are we going to get to direct it.
Right, and everybody's been stepping up. Rumors
exactly
flying.
Because I think, unlike a lot of movies where, let's be honest, fans are very passionate about Star Wars, but when it comes to director, most fanboys, geeks like myself, have personal favorite when it comes to directors because when you know a director, you almost know what's coming. Not that you know what's coming, but you know their style, their flavor.
At least one person isn't going to do it for sure. George Lucas.
Yes, he's and I don't say I blame the man. I think we've been giving him a lot of slack for years about the prequels, but I think the way he handled this was very well. I don't think he did it for the money because he donated most of the money he got from the sale. Yeah. I don't need it. I don't need it. Here, take it. I really believe that it was
preservation of Star Wars.
Yes, I'm getting too old for this stuff. I really think that's what it boiled down to. And he's seen how Disney has handled Marvel and properties since the Reclamation. It's a good move, but like I said, for some reason, have you noticed? It seems like more people are more concerned about who's getting to direct it than any kind of story.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I really believe when you know your stuff, when you know a director's attached to something, you have a really good idea of the flavor and the style that's coming to it. Like, okay, for example, out of the blue, never happened, but Joss Whedon just got tied to do Star Wars. Great, someone's gonna die.
Yeah.
And my first thought when I heard J.J. Abrams was fantastic movie, it's going to be great, but my first thought was too, is great. Lens flare. There goes Millennium Falcon. Oh, I can't see, but no. Yeah, it would be fantastic. Like you said, I really, really enjoyed the new Star Trek. And I mean, I grew up watching it, and when I first heard about it, I'm like, they're doing what? you know.
But they, you know, he kept everything intact. He
Oh,
kept
yeah.
The original universe. He gave you a second universe, which is really good. You know?
Yes.
And I think he can handle it if he wants to do it.
Another big summer blockbuster coming out, we've talked about it before, was Superman, Man of Steel, directed by Zack Snyder. Since the get-go, since preview, trailer, teaser 1, I have been wickedly on the fence about this one. I deep down need it to be good. What I'd seen so far was very lackluster. You know, I think everybody saw the first teaser too. You know the teaser I'm talking about, the Perfect Storm, Deadliest Catch, you know, teaser with, you know, him on a boat. But I'm having hope. I really am. I'm more hopeful of it now than I was quite some time ago. The newest trailer, we get to see him in the costume. We get to see a little bit more action. We get to see some great interaction between the Clark Kent character and Paul, who's played by Kevin Costner. It
I'm
really
still not set.
I know, but I did. I enjoyed the latest one more than I have anything else I've seen. Some of the biggest news here lately about the movie is that it has been announced that it will receive the PG-13 rating for fantasy sci-fi violence, action settings, which is
I don't think it's going to hurt it.
I don't either, because the thing about it is, though, we need to see Superman punch the shit out of something.
Yeah.
I want to see him smash something. I'm one of the supporters of Superman Returns. I really do. I know it catches a lot of slack. It has flaws, major flaws. It was written more of a love story to the original movies than its
Should
own
have been.
than it should have been, than its own standalone movie. I still enjoyed it. That being said, man, I needed to see him just wallop something. I mean, the part where he's picking up the boat, it's one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. It really shows you how strong he is. But as much as I love Lex Luthor, and he's a fantastic villain, man, I want to see Superman smash something. Which is ironic, because I've always tooted that the reason I love Superman isn't because he's the biggest and the strongest, but because he's an inspiration. That's fine. I love that in comic books. But when it comes to a movie, Mikey needs to see some robots being smashed and some... Especially with the announcement of the main villains, Zod, which I know has been getting a lot of backlash. It's like, oh, Zod. Serious? Come on. I mean, let's go through his rogues gallery. To me, aside from Lex Luthor, who's been done to death, who's one of the powerhouses you want to see introduced to a new medium of...
I'd like to see Brainiac myself.
I agree.
Done correctly.
I agree.
Not some guy that has computer skills that can type.
Oh, you mean like Richard Pryor? See, that was the problem to me. I love the original movies, even the fourth one. I like the third one was great. The second one, I love those movies. I really do. But the problem they had was, aside from Lex Luthor, I don't think they knew how to handle Superman's rogues gallery. I mean, aside from Lex Luthor, who bald, maniacal maniac. I mean, that's a gimme, but how do you handle all the other villains?
See, I think they should jump the gun and go straight to Brainiac, so that way Marvel's tied up and can't use Ultron.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Since they jumped ahead and used Thanos, so...
Yeah, that is a good point. Well, Darkseid's out, so... But yeah, no, the idea that it went PG-13 really gives me hope.
I mean, the second Indiana, that was PG-13.
Yes.
That was one of the first movies to be PG-13.
Right.
And I don't think that really hurt that. You know.
No, not at all. So, the hope is building up again. We'll see. I will be there opening day. But the news that I would have rather heard PG-13 than straight out PG, which would have been a cop-out thing to do. It's like, well, we'll make it PG so everybody brings the kids to see it. No, we're going to make this a comic book movie. Movies like The Avengers and Iron Man have proven to people that you can have a comic book character and still kick some butt and still be family friendly.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there was some really great violence in The Avengers. I'll still watch it with my nieces and nephews. Good Lord, you know, we grew up watching Looney Tunes cartoons. We know the difference between real violence and a handle falling on your head. they accept it, and I liked it, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Some other news. Speaking of DC characters, you watched the TV show Arrow?
Yeah.
Big fan of Arrow. It has slowly started to fill the Smallville gap.
Yeah, I liked it when they brought the Huntress on there for the 2 episodes.
Arrow is going a really great way. Like Smallville, they're keeping the central character, but they're going off in their own universe.
Yeah, they're creating their own interpretation.
They're creating their own universe, which not only are they going the same direction, they're using a lot of the same sets. Which I love that fact. It's like, man, that mansion looks really. Oh, that's Lex's mansion. Hey, that law office looks really. Oh, that's the Daily Planet. But that being said, I really like it. The only qualm I have with it though is I would like the idea for Oliver Queen, time on an island, comes back, he's the Hood. Yeah, that's the one thing I wish they would have taken a lesson from Smallville. Seriously, we don't need to have the nickname for 5 seasons. I know he's Green Arrow. You know he's Green Arrow. People who don't watch this show, look, he's got a hood. That's the Green Arrow. Stop with the hood. The blur got boring.
Yeah.
So is the hood. He's Green Arrow. I need to see him be more Green Arrow, not just the avenging. I want to see him go on patrol. Not just go after the names on this list. I want to see him go on patrol, be the hero.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I'm not sure how it's going to work.
Exactly. But it is a fantastic, I really do enjoy it. I like the direction it's taken. I like Smallville, they do a lot of subtle nods to original canon.
Right.
The one that really surprised me was in the show, his best friend, I can't remember his first name, but his last name is Merlin.
Oh.
Most people don't get that. I read Green Arrow, I'm like, oh man, Merlin. It's like, everybody's like, so? I'm like, man, Merlin was Green Arrow's Lex Luthor. He's just as badass an archer, but bad. That's fantastic. And the love interest in the show, Laurel Lance, nod, wink, wink, it's like, oh, and, they teased around a little bit, they showed her, whipping a little butt, and like, right. Oh man, Laurel Lance. But one of the big announcements that's come out here recently was, if anybody watches the show, in the show, Laurel's mother had abandoned, since the beginning of the show, we've never seen Laurel's mother. She abandoned shortly before the accident that caused her sister and Ollie's subsequent, on the island. She left, gone. She just abandoned her and her father, the detective on the show. News is that the mother will be making an appearance on the show. And not only will she be making an appearance on the show, who they got to play her, I want to say, should I say? I think I might say, but before I tell you, not only will I give you a warning, but I will give you a hint. Spoilers! That's right, Alex Kingston, who, she was on this show, really popular, called ER. Well, she was in something else too. Oh yeah, Doctor Who. She was Dr. Riversong on Doctor Who. Has been cast to play Laurel's mother, wait for it, Dinah Lance. I love the idea. I'm confused by it at the same time.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know what's going on, because if anybody who knows any history about Green Arrow, it's always been Ollie and Dinah. Well, now there's Ollie and the mom. His name's Dinah. I mean, don't get me wrong, Alex Kingston is an incredibly beautiful woman, and I can see that. But it just don't. I can't wait to see it. And the fact too that another highlight of the show for me has been John Barrowman, who, as you know, John Barrowman had a little role on Doctor Who as Captain Jack Harkness, and also on the show Torchwood. That man is so brilliant. I love me some John Barrowman. Here's the thing, I loved it. I gotta tell you that. I'm just going canter on this. I love John Barrowman's performance because, one, he is a fantastic actor. If you know John Barrowman's acting like I do, and like he does from Doctor Who and Torchwood, and he's a huge nerd himself. From his spots here and there, the man is just incredible. He's a loon. He's one of the most extravagantly geeky, fun-loving people ever, and to see him as this complete businessman, straight-laced, by the books, subtle villain. Oh, it just shows how fantastic acting really how good he is. Actually, as a matter of fact, I did this to a friend of mine, and he still hasn't forgiven me. If you ever get the chance, if you watch Arrow and you don't really know your John Barrowman that much, go to YouTube, look up John Barrowman Single Ladies. Seriously, I did this to a friend of mine that I work with. He loves Arrow. Loves it. Loves John Barrowman's character in the show. Thinks he's a complete badass. I told him to do that. He comes back to me a day later. I can't unsee that. It was funny, but I can't unsee that. It's brilliant. Get a chance. John Barrowman, Single Ladies. But the idea that for the longest time, people have been doing the fan cry that they've wanted to see Captain Jack and River Song together because those are just two sexually charged powerhouses. And well, we finally did. We should have been more specific. We wanted to see them together in Doctor Who. It was one of those catch-22s. I want to see the two of them together. I want to see the two of them together. It's an Arrow. Good enough. I can't wait to see it. I really can't. I can't wait to see it.
Okay, we've been talking about Marvel now. Last episode, Mike went off a little bit on some changes.
Just a little bit.
And now there was another big change in the all-new X-Men.
Oh, fantastic book.
Bendis brought back the original X-Men kids at the age of around 13, 14, 15.
Teens, yeah.
Yeah, the early teens.
Very first class.
And the Beast brought them to the future to see what they become.
Yeah.
And this whole storyline is great and has given a whole new light to Marvel Girl.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's really... I was very interested in seeing where they were going to go with her, and they've really fleshed her out.
Because she's always, back in that time frame, was always sort of the sidekick.
Yeah.
Or not really sidekick, but it's just the...
Yeah, she was written in a time where female leads, like her, and even Sue Storm...
They were all secondary.
They were all secondary. They weren't real front runners, and they've really been able to step her up in this book.
Because, you know, her powers had advanced earlier, and she's actually basically become team leader for, you know, making them stay. Because they wanted to go basically back and correct stuff, but they're staying. They want to correct it there.
Yeah.
They want to do what they are, and I think this whole storyline, and then the whole X-Men books are starting to cohese together.
Yes, for the first in a long time, you can pick up one X-Men book and another X-Men book, and it might not be revolved around it, but there's a nudge, which they haven't done.
It's been a while.
Oh, in a long time. It's almost like each... Honestly, that's part of the reason why I got out of so many X-Men titles, is because, first of all, there was just so many of them.
I mean, they are still bringing out a lot of X-Men.
But like you said, Colette, they're...
It's becoming the Marvel Universe.
Yes.
Marvel now. You know, I mean, it's... But the storylines it's really cool. I mean, you know, we saved the Beast. The Beast has changed a little bit now.
What he's on is like third or fourth secondary mutation.
But, you know, it's just pretty cool. And, you know, Scott goes off, you know, and Wolverine little incident and stuff. That was interesting.
The interaction between young Scott Summers and current Wolverine, it's dead on as how it would really go down.
I would think, yeah. I mean, this just is like so natural.
Within first 5 minutes, Wolverine's like, I know what you're going to become. You're a jerk. And within the first 5 minutes, Scott Summers will look at him and go, I don't like you. You're a jerk. Boom. You couldn't ask for better.
I mean, I just think what they're doing, they're handling this in the right direction. And I hope they keep going with this direction. You know?
I really do.
I hope Marvel can keep most of these creators in place. You know, I hope this actually works for a good solid year before it starts falling apart. Because I just have a bad feeling. Like, I mean, look at DC. It's being chiseled away.
They are, God love them, their goals. They went in, they came out of the gate so strong. They're like me at a marathon. For the first mile, I'm all up in it. And then a mile later, I'm like...
I mean, it's time to go in different directions. Yeah, it's been, you know, the time frame. But I don't know. I just hope Marvel can stick with it and keep this going, you know. I mean, these are some great books to read. They have been.
I was on the wall about the Marvel Now at first, you know, and is it still perfect? No, but I like the direction that they're going. I understand the direction that they're going. They didn't want to make the hardcore commitment that DC did by wiping everything clean, which is fine. I wish they would have in a couple books. Talking to you, Spider-Man. But no, so far I gotta say I have been impressed with the Marvel Now books. some of the number ones have felt like number ones, some of the number ones, and we had that problem with DC too, where some of the number ones felt like issue 152, a continuation, just renumbered number
Green
one.
Lanterns. Let's not even go there.
I still love the book. I still read it, but let's start everybody over but them. And nobody will notice.
And Batman.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man. Look at Superman, what you did with Superman. You started him day one. Aquaman, day one. Great book. Other one, great book. Justice League, day one. Great book. Ball up, man. Do it. You know, but did Marvel do it? No. But at least they didn't pretend to.
Right.
Here's what we're doing. We're making this acceptable for everybody. We're starting everything over.
And it's now part of the Marvel movie, basically.
Pretty much. It should be, wait a minute, it shouldn't be Marvel now, it should be Marvel now playing. It's pretty much, you know, but is it a bad thing? No. And I mean, they've kept it far enough away from movies. Captain America, God, you want to talk about a book, I still like Captain America, but you want to talk about a book that's gone as far that way as possible as Captain America.
Yeah, the main series, I think, reminds me of what was Jack Kirby's back when he came back in the 70s.
No, I agree. It's...
But, I don't know. He's going to be in the new Cap movie, so they're tying... Are they tying it? Are they doing something new? I
don't know.
It's very confusing.
It is. I like the direction they're going. I wish they coalesced the entire Marvel universe as good as they have been the X-Men universe.
Yeah, because the Avengers started, and then all of a sudden they're going like here, 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 so...
I still read, but I got no idea what's going on with the Avengers because it's been...
That whole Mars thing.
Oh, what the hell? Seriously, how can we... We got some of the teams over here, some of the teams over there. It's like they're going Wolverine with everybody. It's like, well... Cap's in this alternate dimension, but he's also on Mars. Tony Stark is heading out into space, prelude to...
Guardians of the Galaxy.
I dig it. Okay. Yeah, that was the first thing I thought before even hearing any spoilers or anything was at the, what was it, issue 3 or 4, where Tony decides, I need to get out of here. Which I get.
Yeah.
I get. I was like, I need a fresh start. So he goes into space, and as soon as he hit space, I went, Guardians of the Galaxy. Can we force feed the populi Rocket Raccoon anymore? Look, Rocket Raccoon's relevant. He's relevant. He's going to be in a movie. He's relevant.
And then we get a new Nova coming up.
I'm up for a new Nova. I can dig a new Nova. Nova's one of those characters that hey, here you go. Nova is one of those characters where you can put somebody else in a suit and it works.
Well, it's like a Green Lantern.
Exactly. Because it works. I'm not saying that every, person that puts on a costume that's established before is going to work. Doesn't always work. There's a couple examples where it doesn't work. I can't think of them off the top of my head. But Nova works, and I'm interested in to see. That one does look like a good read to me.
I say we come back first of the summer and we'll re-talk about the Marvel now, see where they're at.
Fast forward 2 months from now, Rocket Raccoon is the greatest thing ever. I can't believe it. Oh my God. I can't wait for Rocket Raccoon 2, because by the time this comes out, first one. But, yeah, they are. Marvel is accepting their role in modern media.
Yeah, they're making it very populist.
Yes.
And that's what they need to do. They're going to make money. They need someone who doesn't read comics to walk into a store and pick it up and read it.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of not dummy it down, but make it accessible.
So if we're going to do that, does that mean in the next Amazing Spider-Man movie we should see the character that people come to see get killed and an old man put into his body, so that way when people who want to read the comic book come into a comic book store, they're not disappointed? No, that's lunacy. Lunacy, I say. Because, dude, bait and switch. Like, I've never read a comic book before, but I love that movie. Hey, let me buy out some Spider-Man. Who? Old man. Oh, God. I'm sorry. I'm doing it again. I really... Real quick. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Superior Spider-Man.
Still hasn't gone anywhere good.
You heard it here first, folks. I'm giving it issue 2. We will do an episode after issue 2. I'm giving it... Oh, I'm done with Avenging Spider-Man. I told it 2 issues. I gave it 2 issues. Read the second issue. Done. Because, oh, God, not only do I not like Doc Ock as Peter Parker, it's so creepy. Creepy.
For all you Peter Parker fans, pick up A plus B. Or I mean A plus X. At least Peter Parker's back for one last issue.
Yes. If I hear Doc Ock tell Mary Jane, say it, call me Tiger, one more time, it's just creepy. It's like the equivalent of Call Me Daddy. It's just, I don't like it. I'm done. I'll give Superior 1 more issue. Coming soon, another review. 1 more. But as for Avenging Spider-Man, I'm done. It's going to break, you people don't understand, it's going to break my heart. Spider-Man was one of the first books I've ever read. Before I could read, if you can't tell, I'm a little like this. I was worse as a child. I had ADD before there was ADD. When I was little, we didn't have ADD. We just had that kid's got the devil in him. That was me. And the only thing that got me to shut up long enough for my parents to go to the supermarket was putting a comic book in my hand. And this was back when you could do that. My parents put a comic book in my hand and they'd shop. I'd be in front of the magazine rack. Anybody could have came and picked me up and walked away. That's how old I am. But it was one of the first books I ever read. And to acknowledge the fact that here pretty soon I'm going to come to the comic book store and leave with no Spider-Man books. It really does, as the deep, hardcore nerd that I am, breaks my heart. I will be walking out of my favorite comic book store, Alter Ego, and the thing is, I'm here. He's not even going to be in the Avengers. The Avengers are booting him out.
He's firing him out. Yeah.
He's firing him out. So I will be leaving this store. There will be an entire month that goes by, and I will not have 1 Spider-Man comic book. Damn it, that sucks. And if you haven't told, I'm very vocal about it. But that's for a future episode. That's no more ranting. I got it off my chest.
It's been a good episode.
A good episode. Like I said, there's so many spoilers, so many rumors that have been going around. Stay tuned. As soon as we know something, we'll make sure you know it too.
And check our Facebook page out.
And also check our Facebook page out, because you think I rant here, man. Wait till you get me like no holds barred behind the keyboard. So yeah, Facebook right here. Check us out, and we hope to see you later.